Morning guys, Jamie Cooper at jcooperfitness.com, and everything we do nowadays, everything we look at, any food item or anything like that, has calories. Now, what we do today is look at what calories are, why they're good for us, why they're bad for us, and how they can help with weight loss. So stay tuned and let's do it. So firstly, what are calories? So the box standard definition of a calorie is the energy taken to raise the temperature of 1 gram of water by 1 degree. But let's be honest, what we really need to know is why do calories mean much to us? That's the scientific fact. Really, calories for us are energy. It's in everything. You can't avoid calories. They're everywhere and they are all over the place. Any food, drink, alcoholic drink, sweets, anything you eat or drink, or basically anything you sort of put into your mouth will have calories. Anything you go to the supermarket and read will have calories. Even if you go to, say, a marketplace and there's no packaging or anything like that, they still have calories. Calories are in everything. Why are they important? Well, we need calories. We need the energy. Because again, to do anything, for me standing right here, waving my hands around like a bloody muppet, I still need the energy to do that. For me to get out of bed in the morning, for you to get out of bed in the morning, play with your children, do anything, you need calories. Finally, the understanding of calories is what can help us manage our weight, and that's why calories are good, because we can use them to our own advantage to understand how to lose weight faster, get decent deficits, or if you want to gain weight, to be stronger and gain more muscle, you can understand calories and how to get what's known as a surplus, which we'll talk about in a bit, and how to gain weight and gain more, so by putting in more calories, as it were. As I spoke about there, there's two ways when it comes to calories of how we're going to use them, and that is a deficit or a surplus. Deficit in calories is basically where you reduce your level of calories. So say you need, say, 3,000 calories a day, you'll reduce that down to, say, 2,500. That's creating a calorie deficit. So that is also known as cutting. So that is a calorie deficit. So if you want to lose weight, then you create a calorie deficit. As I say, if you hear people using terms like cutting, shredding, that usually means a calorie deficit. On the other hand, we have a calorie surplus. This is if you want to gain weight. Again, you may think, oh, it doesn't sound common. However, there's people out there who, again, are very who are almost too lean, too skinny, who think they need to beef up a bit and gain a bit of weight. So they want to gain good, lean muscle. So to do this, they need to do what is a calorie surplus. That is, again, if we talk about the 3,000 calories, by adding 3,500 calories, they create a surplus, and that is also known as bulking. So if you hear people talking about bulking or gains, what they're talking about is usually a calorie surplus. They're taking in more calories than they need to try and gain more weight than they already have. So how do we calculate our calories? So there's two ways. There's the really long-winded way of a formula. There's one for a man and one for a woman, male and female. We basically plug in a load of data like your height in inches, your weight in pounds, and your age in years, and it'll tell you what your BMR is. BMR is your basal metabolic rate. As you can tell, I can't say it, but your BMR is important because this is the energy level you need to basically, if you were to get up in the morning and sort of just sit in bed or lie in bed and look at the ceiling and breathe, that is your BMR. That is the minimum amount of energy you'll burn on a daily basis from just being awake and breathing. How do we then need to calculate how we actually move them? Because again, not all of us are equal. So when the government makes calorie counts, they usually say 2,000 and 2,500 for a man, 2,000 for a woman. Where does this come from? So basically it's just an average. So if we use the UK government as an example, they have 65 million people who try and work out to try and be healthy and fit. And how do they do that? By creating calorie checks, if you like, for each person. But they can't do that for 65 million people. So they just do a rough estimate and a rough average on sort of average weight, height and age in the country. So for you, your BMR is a singular thing, it's an individual thing. So this basically means that your BMR is important. So what we need to do then is, once you've calculated your BMR, the other thing you can use, the easier way, is a TDEE calculator, which I'll link in the description below. You then need to take your BMR and times that by a set number to basically get you where you are. So you have sedentary, which is basically, say you have an office job and you don't work out at all. You basically take your BMR and times that by 1.2. Say you're kind of active, you work out maybe once or twice a week. You take your BMR, times that by 1.3. You then have moderately active. This is if you work out, say, about 3 or 5 times a week, and you have maybe a bit more of an active job that you maybe move around a bit more throughout the day, things like that. And that's going to basically times your BMR by 1.5. Then you have very active. Again, this is when you're working out sort of 6 to 7 times a week. So you're almost working out every single day, and you're again still fairly active throughout when you're not working. You're not just in the gym. So again, there's 23 hours in a day. So take that into account. And this is when you want to times it by about 1.7. And finally, we have really active. And this is for people with extremely physical jobs. People are training twice a day. Basically, like rookies or labourers, a really heavy duty job, and they're training as well. Again, you're going to want to time your BMR by 1.9. That's going to give you a massive amount of calories. As I said, I'll leave a link in the description below, and go to the website TDEecalculator.net, and basically you can plug in all your information there, and it'll give you that as a nice list, so you can see each of your calorie count depending on how you basically run your life. A few things to keep an eye on with calories. Firstly, not all calories are the same. As I said, there are cons to calories. So calorie counting is usually the sort of classic weight loss technique that most people sort of point you out to, especially nowadays with apps, watches, things like that. There's so many tools we can use to help us calorie count so much easier than you could do. However, the thing to remember is that there is slight cons to it. A lot of people say to you, well, you can just, calories are calories, as long as you create a deficit, you could eat, nothing but chocolate or nothing but crap food. That's not quite right, because again, if we think about it, a piece of broccoli or 100 grams of broccoli or 100 calories of broccoli is not the same as, say, 100 calories of cake. They're both different. They both have different micronutrients and macronutrients, which again, we'll talk about next week, which can cause a different effect on the body. So again, not all calories are created the same. You should still aim, if you want to create a calorie deficit to lose weight, you should always aim to have decent calories, clean food, like we talked about last week, the whole farm or factory. You want the farm food, not the factory food, more of to create your calorie deficit. Again, as we talked about the 80-20 rule, 80% of clean calories versus 20% of, say, not clean calories. And that's how another way you can work it. As I spoke about there, macros are very important as well. I'll talk about macros in the next episode. However, macros will become important with certain calories, like your protein, your carbohydrates, and your fats, to identify how many more calories you should be taking in, say, protein versus carbs. Again, this is another important thing that people sometimes can overlook, especially when they're calorie counting. So there is stats to take into account. So in summary, guys, basically, if you want to lose weight or create a calorie deficit, just take 500 calories away from your maintenance calories, which you calculate on the TDEE calculator, or that you want to calculate by hand. It's entirely up to you. Or 10 to 20% of your maintenance calories, just take that away, and there's your calorie deficit. If you have a calorie surplus and you want to lose weight, again, adding 500 calories onto your maintenance, or 10 to 20% on, then that's another thing you can do. So you create a deficit or a surplus depending on which way you want to go up sort of the scale. Now, of course, before you can create the deficit or the surplus, make sure you calculate your own BMR. They are individual and they are sort of set to you, as it were. So calculate that and see where you come out to. Don't just rely on the whole 2,500 or 2,000 calories that you see on sort of most food items, because again, you might not necessarily be the case, especially depending on whether you're quite a tall person or maybe quite a short person, skinny or fat. Will have much different needs compared to what sort of government average will be. finally, just remember, not all calories are the same. Yes, you can calorie count on a bad diet, and maybe you will lose a bit of weight, but it will be very temporary. The best thing to help you lose weight and keep it off, if you're going to count calories, is to count the good calories and try and just seek out good calories and not the bad calories. Just remember what we talked about last week: farm versus the factory. You always want to be nicely in that farm area where you eat plenty of healthy foods and stay away from the sort of factory processed stuff. Anyway, guys, I hope that helped. Any comments, please leave below. Give me a thumbs up in the comments below. Stay tuned to the end. I'll leave a little sort of workout at the bottom as well. And until next time, guys, I'll see you soon. Cheers.